Urgent, Commanders fan! Look at what just happened. Nobody saw this coming, huh? But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel because we bring you daily videos with the latest Commanders news. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Commanders urged to sign $21 million edge rusher from NFC North. It's understandable to be a little worried about what the Washington Commanders have planned at edge rusher for 2025, if only because it seems like there is no plan at this point. While the Commanders could still use the numbered 29 overall pick in the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft on an edge rusher, a Super Bowl contender pinning its pass, rushing hopes on a rookie doesn't seem viable. That's why Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox thinks the Commanders should make a move to sign free agent edge rusher DeMarcus Walker, who was released by the Chicago Bears in a salary cap move on February 28th. The Washington Commanders lost pass rusher Dante Fowler Jr. to the Cowboys in free agency, Knox wrote. While Washington added Jacob Martin and Dietrich Wise to help replace Fowler, it could stand to bring in another pass rusher. Adding Martin's former Chicago Bears teammate DeMarcus Walker would be a sound move. Walker logged 5 sacks and 23 quarterback pressures while starting all 17 games for the Bears last season. Fowler was the key to the Commanders' pass rush in 2024 as he led the team with 5 sacks as the team went 125 in the regular season and advanced to the NFC Championship game for the first time since 1991. As a team, Washington was 12th in the NFL with 43 sacks. Commanders spent big on interior DL in free agency. The Commanders did make a splash on the defensive front in free agency, just not at edge rusher. Washington dropped a 3-year, $45 million free agent contract on underperforming defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw, despite already having 2 viable starters on the interior defensive line with Darren Payne and Jerzan Newton. Over the Cap's Jason Fitzgerald gave the Commanders an F grade for the Kinlaw deal, which includes $30 million in guaranteed money. Most contracts in the NFL have some level of justification. This does not, Fitzgerald wrote. The Jets signing Kinlaw at 7.5M was a bad one last year, and this just blows that away. 3 years, $45 million with $30 million full at signing. Insane. Teams that do stuff like this because they have cap room often wind up a mess in a year or two, because the cap room is gone, and they wonder why they have some of these contracts on the books. On paper, this is the worst signing of the early free agency period. Walker became steady presence after slow NFL start. Walker was a second-round pick, number 51 overall by the Denver Broncos out of Florida State in the 2017 NFL Draft, but was a non-factor. For his first 2 seasons, when he only played in 13 games with 0 sacks. Walker had 5 sacks over his last 2 seasons with the Broncos before playing with the Houston Texans on a 1-year contract in 2021 and a 1-year contract with the Tennessee Titans in 2022, where he had a career-high 0 sacks. Walker turned his career year with the Titans into his biggest NFL payday, signing a 3-year, $21 million contract with the Bears in March 2023. Walker became a full-time starter for the first time in his career in Chicago with 77 tackles, 0 sacks, 16 TFL and 32 QB hits over 34 games the last 2 seasons. Pausing this news just to say that if you want YouTube to keep recommending the latest Commanders news to you, it's very important that you leave a like on this video. Thanks. Now let's get back to the news. Commanders bring back NFL's ultimate journeyman and former Ravens QB. He still has 18 more to go. Former Baltimore Ravens quarterback Josh Johnson is running it back for 1 more season. Has big time back in the NFC East and back in Washington. According to ESPN's John Keim, the 38-year-old quarterback has signed a 1-year deal with the Commanders, returning to a team he briefly started for in 2018. Johnson spent the last 2 seasons with the Baltimore Ravens, mostly serving as a veteran. Back up behind Lamar Jackson, his time in Baltimore was relatively quiet. In 2023, Johnson didn't play a single snap. Last season, he saw the field sparingly in garbage time, completing 2 of 3 passes for 17 yards. But even if he wasn't making headlines, his presence in the quarterback room gave the Ravens a reliable and very experienced option deep down. The depth chart. Washington Commanders bring back QB Josh Johnson. This latest stop with Washington is just the next chapter in what's become one of the most fascinating NFL careers in recent memory. Johnson has signed with 14 NFL teams, bounced through the AAF and XFL, and somehow still keeps getting the call. It's truly the stuff of legends, especially for someone who is 18 as a starter with a career 58 completion percentage. He returns to a Commanders team now led by Jaden Daniels, with veteran Marcus Mariota already on board as the presumed backup. Johnson will likely compete for the third quarterback spot with Sam Hartman and provide another veteran voice in the locker room as Washington continues to build around its young core. For Baltimore, Johnson's exit was all but official when the team signed former Dallas Cowboys backup Cooper Rush in March. Rush is expected to serve as Lamar Jackson's primary backup, while 2023 sixth-rounder Devin Leary remains a developmental option. Johnson might not have played much for the Ravens, but he did exactly what teams hope for from a third-string QB: stay ready, know the system, and help prep the starter. And if Washington needs him in 2025, he'll be ready. He has history with both the Commanders and their general manager, Adam Peters, from their time together in San Francisco, so the familiarity on both fronts likely factored into his decision to return to Washington. It's unlikely this move makes any waves, but for the Ravens, it's just another small off-season shift and a reminder of how often familiar faces pop up in new places. Commanders one step closer to selecting massive 2025 NFL draft sleeper. This is a notable development. The Washington Commanders made fortifying their trenches a big priority this offseason. Adam Peters saw how these critical areas became unstuck in the NFC Championship game against the Philadelphia Eagles. He's working hard to ensure this doesn't become an ongoing issue, and there is one overlooked prospect drawing significant interest. From the Commanders heading into the 2025 NFL Draft, Peters doesn't have much draft capital to utilize right now. The Commanders boast 5 picks after some frantic trade activity in recent months. That should help in the short term, but it makes the general manager's task more difficult when the selection event arrives. The Commanders would like more picks, so moving down in the first or second round is the best way to extract maximum value. Peters is adept at moving up or down the board to benefit the team. He's also proven his worth as a shrewd negotiator during discussions to further raise optimism. Commanders reportedly showing strong pre-draft interest in Aden Huntington. Washington's local pro day provided another opportunity for the Commanders to examine the credentials of Aden Huntington. The Tulane standout revealed to Josh Taylor from USA Today that he met with a star-studded cast of coaches and front office personnel privately once on-field activities concluded. Among those who met with Huntington included Dan Quinn, Peters, Ryan, Kerrigan, and Darryl Tapp. This is an intriguing revelation, something that puts the prospect firmly on Washington's radar. It was also the third time Huntington had met with Washington's brass throughout the process. He spoke with them at the CGS All-Star Game and his local Pro Day. This is due diligence, if nothing else, but 3 meetings state that the Commanders like what they see and hear. Huntington made a name for himself at Louisiana Monroe before transferring to the Green Wave, as versatile and athletic enough to play anywhere along the defensive line in a variety of techniques. These traits are valued highly by Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. within their schematic concepts. The prospect's testing numbers are exceptional. He's not the biggest, so Huntington needs to brush up on his run-stopping technique before confidence in his chances increases, but his high work ethic makes him extremely coachable. Just where Huntington will be taken is anyone's guess. Most analysts have him tabbed as a late day 3 selection. Others have him going undrafted. The Commanders have picks in the 6th or 7th round, so they could have the luxury to take him if other pressing priorities are filled beforehand. Huntington fits the physical profile. His 9.6 relative athletic score is a testament to the intangibles he brings to the table. If the Commanders can nurture his talent and bring him along gradually, this could be a possible sleeper when push comes to shove. The Commanders made some decent additions to their defensive line this offseason. They also resigned some on the fringes who flashed during their memorable run to the Final Four. However, Peters will not be settling by any stretch of the imagination. Huntington is drawing interest from the Commanders. Whether it amounts to anything more hasn't been determined, but this is a notable development worth monitoring at the very least. And now, Commanders fan, I want to hear from you. What's your opinion on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I don't know if you know this, but your opinion matters a lot for Commanders. I'll be back any moment with more Commander's news. We want Dallas.